I'm giving away this fantasy-themed mystery box. It contains merchandise from The Witcher, Game of Thrones, The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. I'll even be throwing in this Magic the Gathering Lord of the Rings starter kit. So if you want to get your hands on it, stick around to the end of the video to know how. Hollywood has always had a love-hate relationship with video games. While the games themselves rake in big money, it's hard to adapt the medium for movie and television screens. In the 90s, we saw the likes of Double Dragon, Street Fighter and Super Mario Bros. Completely bomb at the box office, while Japanese viewers were treated to tons of anime films and series that were completely foreign to American audiences. Even today, video adaptations are hit and miss. 2018's Tomb Raider barely broke even, 2016's Assassin's Creed was a dud, and who knows what's even happening with Sony's Uncharted franchise. As for television, the thought of developing a live-action series based on a video game was nearly unheard of until recently. But that isn't to say that there hasn't been any decent video game adaptations in recent years. And with the rising popularity of animation, I'm glad that they're sticking to the source material. So with that being said, let's have a look at the top 5 best movies and TV shows adapted from a video game. Starting off this list, we have Werewolves Within. Werewolves Within is a multiplayer social deduction VR game released in 2016 that was adapted into a film in 2021. In the film, a new forest ranger Finn arrives in a small town, and soon after, a snowstorm traps the residents inside a local inn. A mysterious creature, presumably a werewolf, has begun creating havoc, and the residents are up in arms trying to figure out who it might be. Despite this film not doing very well at the box office, this film is hilarious, quirky, and I found it very entertaining. And it also received a fantastic reception from critics and audiences. At number 4, we have The Witcher. The Witcher is a 2007 RPG game based on the series of fantasy novels of the same name. The third installment of the game franchise, Witcher 3, won the Game of the Year, giving it significant notoriety. Netflix's The Witcher revolves around the protagonist of the game, the Witcher Geralt of Rivia, who hunts mutated monsters. Despite some changes to the story, mediocre dialogue at times, and Henry Cavill leaving, this series does a fantastic job at bringing the magnificent world of The Witcher to life. Coming in at number 3, we have Pokemon. Many people aren't aware that the Pokemon video game series on the Nintendo Game Boy marked the beginning of the franchise. Specifically, Pokemon Red and Green were the first installments of the game series released in Japan back in 1996. The Pokemon video game is undoubtedly one of the greatest pop culture phenomena in history. It caught on immediately and has maintained a massive fan base even to this day. This is not only due to the Pokemon card and video games, but the original Pokemon show that inspired generations to become Pokemon masters. There has been numerous movies and spin-offs with various reception ranges from critics and fans, but the original series propelled it all. At number 2, we have Arcane. Arcane is based off the immensely popular Microsoft game League of Legends. League of Legends is a battle arena game developed and published by Riot Games. Unlike any other game on this list, League of Legends is a highly competitive online game. The League of Legends World Championship is currently the most popular esports game, bringing in more viewers worldwide than any competitive video game in the world. So naturally, it got its own show. The show definitely lives up to the hype of the game. The game comprises a litany of characters known as champions, but the show follows a selected handful. In the thick of turbulence between the advanced and peaceful above-ground city of Piltover and its dilapidated and oppressed below-ground city of Zorn, two sisters Vi and Jinx, both from Zorn, fight for opposing causes. Before we get to the top spot, here are some honourable mentions. The Angry Birds movies. The Angry Birds by Rivio Entertainment was possibly the first major hit game on all smartphones back in 2009. With a finger flick, you can launch various types of cartoon birds with a catapult to knock over a tower full of green pigs. Not much there for a movie, right? Well, they made a film anyway. Actually, 2 films. The first film, coming out in 2016, didn't click well with critics and audiences, but it still had enough backing it to make a second. The second film, which gained exponentially better reception with both audiences and critics. The Cuphead Show. Based on the game Cuphead by Studio MDHR. The game was a surprise hit with its throwback animation style inspired by surrealistic animation from early Disney such as Fantasia. The Cuphead Show follows the trials and tribulations of the adventures of Cuphead and his cautious brother Mugman. The show is funny, unique, and maintains the same animation style as the game, which gives audiences a fun sense of nostalgia with modern-day animation quality. We also have Sonic the Hedgehog. The Sonic the Hedgehog game was an instant hit when it came out in 1991. Developed by the Sonic team and released on the Sega Genesis, this game was groundbreaking and became an instant classic. The films Sonic the Hedgehog and Sonic the Hedgehog 2 were not as revolutionary. They received mixed criticism, but it doesn't take away from their quality for what they are. And finishing off this list, we have The Last of Us. The Last of Us is a game developed by Naughty Dog. It is an action-adventure game in a dystopian future after a zombie apocalypse. The The games have won many awards, including Game of the Year. The gameplay and the world are highly immersive, and the writing from the narrative to the dialogue exceeds that of your typical video game. Players navigate the apocalypse as Joel, a smuggler tasked with getting the infected immune teenage girl Ellie across the country. There have been zombie games, zombie shows, zombie movies, time and time again. Not only does the HBO adaptation give us a unique take on the zombies themselves and the world they encompass, but it's also incredibly entertaining and well done. The Last of Us TV series was created and written by the acclaimed Chernobyl writer Craig Mazin and the original game writer and director Neil Druckmann. The amazing writing paired up with the perfect acting from Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey makes this by a long shot the best adaptation to date. So that's my list. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and also let me know what movie or show would you have put on this list. And if you want to win this fantasy themed mystery box, all you need to do are these 3 simple things. Leave a like on this video, comment on any of my videos, and subscribe to my channel, and one lucky random subscriber will be announced on the 31st of July. You can even hit that bell icon to keep up to date with my latest uploads and giveaways, such as my comic book giveaways every fortnight. And lastly, make sure you smash that like button so it can get recommended to other people so my channel can grow. So with all of that being said, I will see you in the next one, but until then, take care.